Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Mindful Wanderers.
Peace, y'all.
So today we thought we would share with you our setup, why we chose the setup we did, the trailer and truck versus a class A, B, or C, and kind of our journey on how we even came about this whole adventure.
Definitely.
So I'll let Patrick take it off and share with you like what our setup actually is.
Okay, so we have a Ram 1500. It's a 2016, and we got the model. It's a Bighorn, but we got the model that had the highest tow ratio for the axle ratio for towing. So we can tow around 10,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we bought the truck first. It took us a couple years, 2 years to find it, a year and a half.
I would say about a year and a half to find it.
Year and a half to find it.
Looking, you know,
Like,
when you have a budget and you know what you want, like it narrows things down greatly. So you just gotta wait it out, keep checking, keep
searching
looking,
and searching online. We went
hours
dealerships.
away.
We live in Buffalo. We drove to Rochester.
Yeah.
We drove all over the place. Finally found the package that we wanted. It was important for us to have the larger camera for backing up.
LCD touchscreen.
Yeah, the larger screen. That was an important factor for us.
Especially for me, because driving the truck it's big. It's a big piece of machinery, so being able to see behind me was very important.
Yeah, you got blind spots, so that backup camera really comes in handy.
Yeah.
So more about the truck. We decided to go with gas over diesel because diesel is like the worst as far as
for
fumes and the environment and stuff like that. So we knew we wanted a gas.
Yeah.
We wanted to keep it relatively small, like a 1500, so we weren't spending too much in gas.
Yeah.
Turns out we spent a lot in gas anyway.
We still spend a lot of gas. What are we averaging, like 9 or 10 miles to the gallon when we're towing, maybe?
Yeah, and that's, with the uphills and the downhills, I think it's about 10 miles. Sometimes when we're in flat territory, we're at like 13.
Oh, that's good.
Which is pretty decent.
So
but
it averages out.
Yeah. Other things that were important to us with the truck, having a quad cab, because we had 2 dogs at the time and we have 3 now.
No, we need a crew cab, not a quad cab.
So we wanted a crew cab over a quad cab because it was important for us to have more space for the 2 dogs that we have than the 3 that we have now. So color, I think we always wanted, what color? Gunmetal.
Yeah, like some kind of gray or black or whatever. But once we discovered the truck that fit all of our parameters, the color kind of didn't matter anymore because it was taking so long to really find something. And we ended up with a blue truck, and it's beautiful. Like, it's not a color we would have normally picked, but we get so many compliments on it. It's really nice. People that tell us.
Blue streak pearl.
Yeah,
is what
that's the
it's
color.
called.
So we really love it a lot. We bought it used. That was another one of our criteria, is that we got it used. So we ended up getting a pretty good deal on it. The gentleman that owned it before us was one owner. He ended up trading it in at a Volkswagen dealership because it was just too much for him.
For like a Jetta.
Yeah, so that's how we found it, was a Volkswagen dealership was trying to get rid of it. So of course they don't want it. It's not a Volkswagen. They just needed to get rid of it. So it was fun playing the negotiating game. I got to walk out. I was like done, and I walked out, and it really helped us get a lower price. But I was done. I didn't want to play their games anymore. So, I almost left Patrick there.
Seriously. So we had 2 vehicles, and we were going to trade them both in to get this truck because we only really needed 1. So we found the good deal. It was in Rochester. It's like an hour away from Buffalo. We found the great deal. We're like, let's go there and go through the negotiating process. Well, the truck that I was driving for work was a Ford Ranger. It was a 99 Ford Ranger. And so the transmission was shot, and I could barely get up to speed. And if I could get up to speed, then and I'm going, I was all right. So we just took the highway all the way to Rochester.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're negotiating. And Christina's like, no, you're not going to give us the number we want. I'm going to get out. She gets up and walks out. I'm like, okay, I guess we're leaving.
We took two separate vehicles there.
I get up and I leave. Christina gets out and drives the car away.
Driving. I'm gone.
Well, the truck doesn't go in reverse, so I put it in reverse and I'm pushing with my foot out of the driveway. Like, come on, let's go. I'm like, she's gone already. So I'm like, get into the driveway, and the guy comes out and like stops us, and he's like, no, wait. Were you really gonna leave? I was like, yeah, I would have driven this thing back to Buffalo if I had to, but really, I probably would have just parked it around the corner.
Yeah, which we ended up having to do. We couldn't drive it back to Buffalo, so we ended up leaving it in like a Walmart parking lot for a couple days until we could come back and finish the paperwork.
The transaction,
yeah, because they had to like clean it.
So good job on negotiating.
Thanks.
She killed it on that one.
I was done. Like.
So we got a good deal. We traded our 2 vehicles in for it, and we're like, yes, we got the truck now. Now we just got to find the camper.
The camper, our house.
The trailer, yeah.
Which that again took a long time. It takes time to really, one, figure out what you want. You have to go through the pros and cons. You have to spend time actually looking at these coaches, walking into them, seeing how the systems work. Everyone is so different.
Does the space and the setup work for you and what your lifestyle is,
and
you know what I mean?
Budget.
And your budget. That makes it even harder.
We really wanted to get a Class A because, my goodness, those are so cool. You just drive away. It's like, yeah, your house on wheels.
But yeah, with budget and everything, we were like, all right, let's do a pull behind camper. We can get one pretty cheap, and let's get it used because we can save money that way. And so we were looking in different states. We're looking all over, and I think on Craigslist I found we call it Rocky, but it's a gray wolf toy hauler, and found it on Craigslist through a guy named Tom. What up, Tom?
Hi, Tom.
And he gave us a good deal. It was a 2017, and we bought it in 2018.
Yep.
And so he towed his 800-pound full-dressed Harley Davidson motorcycle. He towed it around in here, but he had hurt his back and he couldn't do all the things that you got to do.
It's a lot of work
for towing. You know, there's like the tow bars and the sway stuff, and it's a lot of work. So he couldn't do that anymore. So he gave us a really good deal for it.
He did. He was really sweet. And what really sweetened the deal was he threw in all of the accessories that we possibly could need.
All the accessories.
Everything. Like, so generator, we're out here huge, boondocking. Guys. That was awesome. We didn't have to pay for that. It was over $1,000 if we would have paid for it.
It's a remote start, so we can be inside and be like, oh, I want air conditioner. Start the thing. But what else? Huge things that came with it. Oh, like the tow bar sway package. Like that's like $800-900, I think, right there.
All of the cords, everything you need for cable, electric, water, pipes, pool pipes,
extra cords, extra pipes, bungees, tie downs, straps, everything. Like he really hooked this up, and we're so grateful to Tom for that.
Yeah. And he even took the day when we went to go pick it up. He took the day to like show us how everything worked, make sure that we felt comfortable before driving it away.
Yeah,
which was really sweet.
It was so nice of him. So what he had done in there, we'll do another episode on the inside of our trailer and the truck and stuff like that. But what he did inside there, in the back, there's 2 seats that fold down, and a table goes in the middle. The seats fold up, the table comes down, you park your 4-wheeler or motorcycle in there. Yeah. So he had taken one of the seats out, so it just had this seat and this table. And that worked for us pretty well, but we were like, you know what? What if we take out this other seat
and the table,
because it's uncomfortable and it's ugly and it's heavy anyway, and we'll put something in ourselves.
So wait till you see what we
bought a couch, and we put a couch in there.
It looks nice and homey now.
And the good thing about it that really worked for us is the floor space is wide open.
It's open.
And with 3 dogs, they're always on the floor, so they need the space to lay down, they need the space to
bite each other,
be crazy and whatever. So it just really worked for us. And the coolest thing is, when we pull up to somewhere like this and we back in, the whole back comes down. So basically one of our 4 walls, the whole thing comes down, and we just can like chill and look outside.
It's nice. Awesome. It really is. We feel less cramped because it's a tiny space. So like when you're living in here for months with 3 animals, 2 humans, it gets crazy. Like, you feel cramped at times, so it's really nice to be able to just open the back door and
it's awesome.
Fresh air. Yeah, it's really sweet. So yes, we got a toy hauler for our travels, even though we don't have a toy right now.
Well, so back home, it was always our aspiration to get a Zero motorcycle. And if y'all don't know what a Zero motorcycle is, they're electric motorcycles. They're like the Tesla of motorcycles, and they're so cool. Dude. And that's what we eventually wanted. We're like, we need to get an electric motorcycle in here that we could tow around with us, and it'll cut down on our gas costs, because we are still conscious of that, and we feel bad that we use so much gas. So like, oh my God, an electric motorcycle, and just zip around everywhere once we get there. Yeah. But anyway, those are really expensive, and to tow that around the country, I probably would want a bigger truck. I think ours could do it, but it's like, I don't want to push it. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. So whatever. We like what we got going on. It's cool. But at home, we did go and we bought, I bought when Christina was out of town. I bought a little 50cc scooter. So it's a little like Chinese scooter. Got it registered, inspected, got it on the road. We drove it around for the summer. It was really fun. Every time we went camping, we would bring it with us in here. Yeah. But just locally and stuff like that. And our deciding factor was to not bring it was the fact that, it's 50 cc's. It goes, it's like 30 miles an hour. Maybe, it tops out at 30 miles an hour.
On flat roads.
Downhill.
Yeah. Good one.
So anyway, if we're anywhere remote, it's not like we could just take the scooter and go on a highway to a store or to dinner or something.
That would not be safe.
It was dead weight, and we're like, well, just leave it and whatever. Yeah. We'll come back to it. So that's the story on that. You want to do a quick recap about what we talked about and...
Yeah, so, all right, we'll bring it back to speed, because I feel like we've been going off on a little bit of a tangent, but have we? Okay. Whatever. So yeah, this video is about our setup, how we have a 2016 Ram 1500, and it is pulling our about 30 feet with the tongue toy hauler trailer. Yes. And it's awesome. It's perfect for us two and our 3 dogs. A lot of time went into researching what we wanted, what we didn't want, and the price, finding something that fit our budget, because it's really important. You don't want to spend too much money, because then you have less money for your adventure, to play. And
also I want to say one thing, do your research. Yeah. What we just touched on is nothing, but there's so many good videos out there. If you do your research on how much your vehicle can tow, you know what I mean, know how much your cabin, your coach weighs, dry, and then
what you could put in it,
how much you can load into it. It's a lot of numbers and stuff,
and it's very important, because if you do not follow these things, you are putting yourself at risk when you're on the road.
And other people too. Yeah. And you don't want to break your stuff. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of that. Do your research. And
it's a lot of fun.
It's always good to stay at 70 to 80% of what your tow capacity is. So ours is 10,000 pounds towing capacity. Our dry weight of our camper is only 5,500. And so I figured if we stayed at 70% to 75% of our capacity, we should be fine. Yeah. And we're well below that. Oh yeah. I believe we're probably around...
We're super conscious of it. We're
6,000, 6,500. Water weighs a lot, so be careful.
Donate some clothes.
But yeah, so just do your research. Make sure you're getting what you want for the type of lifestyle that you like to live. Because some people live very minimally, and they can stay in a teardrop camper or even a tent, and that's awesome too. If you can do that, that's so cool.
It's pretty badass.
But other people, we've noticed as you get older people need a little more amenities,
more comfort.
So they have bigger, nicer coaches, and
really nice.
It's whatever works for you. You know what I mean? We found something that works for us, but we're always kind of I wish it was a little bit different, but in reality, it's
perfect.
We're so grateful to have it.
You know what? You start with something and you can always trade up. You just got to start with where
small,
you're at. If you keep it realistic, you can make it happen much more quickly.
Yeah, and have a plan, set your little goals and have your little plans. First of all, if you buy it all at the same time, that's fine. But how we did, we were just looking until we found the
Our
best
truck.
deals, and it took us almost 2 years time to find what we needed. So
Yeah,
like
so
take your
stick to
time
it.
and
Don't give up.
yeah, don't
It's
give
so
up.
worth it, guys.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, we're out here in the Salton Sea, free camping. We're living out here free.
Yeah. Thanks for
It's so
tuning in,
cool.
guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate you watching. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Oh yeah.
Facebook,
Yes.
and what else? TikTok, if you're
TikTok,
into that. We got
◯OᖃKᔕ.
funny little videos. You guys can learn why I got this road rash on my head. Road rash. So yeah, check us out on our other platforms. It'd be great to like interact with people.
Yeah, and maybe meet you along the way. We're staying out here.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.